Hello folks, I'm Scott Grove here to do a review on another guitar I got in. I have lots and lots and lots of this particular guitar. These are the very first round of the, you can see I've got a wall of them back here actually, but the Fender USA Strat Plus guitars. Okay, this one here is in what's called Graffiti Yellow, and it's very rare in the fact that it is the first round, and it also has a rosewood fingerboard. 99% of these will have a maple fingerboard on them. Okay, so that makes this one exceptionally rare. Came with the original case, all the original purchasing information, the papers, all the case candy, the hang tags, the manuals, the tools, every possible thing, extra springs, blah blah blah. So it came with everything. This is a collector's guitar, not to be played. I know, sad. And I won't play it other than for this review. Okay, chances of me actually taking this to a gig is pretty much nothing. So when I turn 60 in 2024, I'll be selling all my guitars and living off what I make out of them. But in the meantime, I grab the most collectible guitars that I personally like. I don't grab the old 50s and 60s Fenders and Gibsons because I don't like them, so I don't want them in my house. They're just not my thing. You know, I actually want something that if I wanted to play out, I could take it out and I would actually enjoy all the tones that came out of it. Okay, so let's get down to the star of the show here, the guitar. Okay, so this one is actually, I'm going to break down some of this Fender bullshit codes they use for their serial numbers. E, usually on a Fender guitar, stands for E for 80s. And then the very next number 4, so that should mean 84, right? Hell no. If you go to Fender's website, about half of their stuff is at least wrong on their American guitars as far as the serial numbers, and their Japanese guitars, forget it. 99% of it is wrong. The only way you can date a Fender guitar is to pull the neck off, and right here on the end of the neck, not on the back of the neck, but on the end of the neck, in pencil or stamped on, will be the actual date this guitar was completed. So E4, and Fender's website will tell you, yeah, that's 84. But we know that Fender did not even come back into the Corona factory to start making these until 87. But this is not an 87. This is actually May 13th of 1988. And it will tell you that on the end of your neck. So before I spent the couple grand plus that I did for this guitar here a couple weeks ago, I made the guy on eBay pull the neck off and show me the numbering. You know, so I want to see what year it is. And first year of Strat Pluses was 87. And the E4 serial numbers lasted through 88. And oddly enough, through May of 88. And oddly enough, through the middle of May of 88. And that's where this guitar was, May 13th of 88. And then they started catching up with the for the most part of these serial numbers. You will see Fender serial numbers, like I've got my, oh, it's right here, so I'll make it nice and easy. Back around 76, they started doing things like this with the serial numbers. Before that, it was harder to find out. But you will see on some of these guitars, this here's my 79 Strat. Most 79 Strats will say S for the 70s, and then have a number 9 after it for the serial number. Okay, that is not the case with most of them. They've had S9s for 1980 and 1981, blah blah blah. How do you know the difference when you're buying on eBay? You make the sumbitch take the neck off your guitar and show you what's printed under there. Most of the serial numbers will lie to you. So do not ever, ever, ever go by what's on the headstock, because it will, more than likely, be wrong. 1999, horrible. There was like 4 different ways and 4 different numbers and 4 different letters and stuff to, this is USA. And the Japanese stuff, forget it. Especially the crafted in Japan. Everything listed on the website about the crafted in Japan serial numbers are completely wrong. There's not a single one of them that are correct. You'll get things like, oh, if it says E8, such as I don't know, here's my 1988 Japanese, made in Japan. You'll see here, yeah, it's the E serial number. But anyway, if you look this up on there, it will say that this was made between 84 and 87. Well, they never made any of these floral or paisley Stratocasters until 88. Okay, and then you'll see the only floral and paisley Stratocasters ever made from the crafted in Japan. The serial number will actually indicate on the Fender website that it was made in 94 or 95. So all the music stores are usually the dumbest people, especially when you come to eBay or anything and you try to buy it. They'll look at the thing on Fender, they're helping you to find and decode your little serial numbers. Those will say that they're made in 94, 95. Well, guess what? There was no such thing as crafted in Japan back then in 94, 95. So, number one, impossible. Plus, I know, just because I know, because this is what I do for a living, the only crafted in Japan, paisley or floral ones, are going to be made in 2001 through the very beginning of 2003. And there were never any more. Then now it's come back to made in Japan again, blah, blah, blah. So, if you ever try to find a crafted in Japan, paisley or floral online, they're going to advertise it as a 94 or 95. It is not. Japan, made in Japan, they made some, and 95, okay, 94, 95, but it was not the crafted in Japan. So there's a lot wrong with them. Hell, everything there's so many, and I'll get off the serial number thing here in a second. What's this say? N4. This is American Telecaster. N4. Supposed to be 94. What year is it actually? 94. Okay. Let's do this. Another Fender Telecaster, USA. What's serial number? N4. What year is this? 2006. Okay, so it goes on and on and on like that. So you have to know your guitars, and you have to make the people take the necks off the guitars for you to read the code that is at the end. It's not a code. It actually is written or stamped, usually written in pencil, the month, the day, and the year. Otherwise, if it's not there, it's a fake neck, or it's a Japanese neck and somebody's just writing fake numbers, or it's a Warmoth or any of the others, Mighty Mite necks that people put a fake decal on. So if you don't have a number at the end of your neck, something is funky, don't buy it. Okay? So on with this guitar. These, I've showed you a lot of these. So there's not much more to tell other than anybody who has not seen the other reviews on these. Let's go through this guitar real quick. The Graffiti Yellow is extremely hard to get. The whole Strat Plus thing was supposed to be a Jeff Beck signature series that never came to be until later. And this color was what he was actually originally going to go for, the Graffiti Yellow. So finally something just didn't happen, it didn't happen, it didn't happen. The Jeff Beck model, signature model, was never released, and Fender just went ahead and put out, they got tired of waiting on his ass, started putting out the Strat Pluses in all kinds of groovy colors, including this one. And when the Jeff Beck models finally came along, he ended up with, you know, the two single coils side by side, but they only came in two colors. One being this color, you know, your surf green, and the other being a surf purple. Okay, yep, purple. So his original Graffiti Yellow never came to be. So that's very rare, and again with the rosewood fingerboard, which is why I got this, I went ahead and settled for the 88 instead of the original 87 the first year, because of the extreme rarity of the rosewood fingerboard. Okay, these guitars have the original Wilkinson semi-roller nut. Okay, later they came out with the LSR with the ball bearings on them, but this goes over and under. Couple pieces of metal in here. What is great about these? A whole lot of things. If you ever see one of these with a string tree added to it, it kills the value of the guitar if you're a collector, because there's no reason for a string tree. That's why this is here. Plus, what do your fingers play actually against? What makes your notes sound? These pieces of steel right across here. Those are frets, kids. Guess what? If you have a bone, if you have a bone, then you better excuse yourself from class. If you have a bone or a plastic nut on your guitar, guess what? I know 99% of you do. Your open strings sound different than your fretted ones because you're playing against plastic or bone. But if you're playing against steel here and steel here and steel here, all your notes are going to sound the same. Make sense? Okay, so why do people that are so famous switch to bone nuts and everything? Because they are guitarded. Yes, so if you ask me, God, is Jimmy Page, you got the balls to call him guitarded? Hell yeah, him and Hendrix and Clapton. But yeah, Clapton actually ended up going with this, as did Jeff Beck, as did everybody else once they found out the true meaning of all this. So that's why all the biggies came out with their signature models of the Strat Pluses. Okay, metal against metal, here and here and here and here. All your notes are going to ring out the same. I know a lot of you are bitching going, dumbass. No, sorry, you're the dumbass. Okay, I know, I'm a pleasant personality. Here are the original locking tuners they put back here. They originally started off with the Spurzal things, and then they went to these that are kind of a powder coated looking finish, as is the double semi-roller nut. Okay, and none of the other, well, I guess the bridge is part of it. The saddles are, which are very nice. They are higher mass, so you get more sustain here than you do over the little tin looking Strat tailpieces, you know, the saddles. So you have more connection here. They're actually touching each other in large areas, so it's almost like you're playing one huge saddle, which is a great thing for sustain. Okay, Fenders now, they don't do it. They went back to the old ways. Why? Because Fender as a company is not bright. Okay, but they did them right here. These are the best guitars they ever made. So for them to go back and quit doing Strat Pluses was, again, yes, guitarded. Okay, what do we have here? We have the best pickups they ever put out, and these are the Lace sensors made by Don Lace, not made by Fender, even though Fender wanted to go ahead and cram their name on here. Why? Because they're little shitheads like that. So those are the greatest sounding pickups in the world as far as I'm concerned. Are the Golds the best sounding? The Golds are the most traditional sounding. These give you that old 50s Fender sound. But then again, we get the luxury of the 5-way switch. If you want my sound, why would you? Because mine is better than theirs. Why? Because I say so. Then you would actually go with 3 silver Lace sensors, which Fender has never offered as a set. But you can still buy them from Lace and put them in. You can check on my YouTube channel, check out my custom guitars. They all have 3 silver Lace sensors because they sound better. Better than this, how can it be? It's very hard to be, because like I said, this is the best, as far as I'm concerned, which may not mean shit to most of you, sounding and best Strat ever made in the United States. What kills it? Japan. Anything from Japan will kill this. What works about this? Let's turn it wide on open, and a Strat is a Strat is a Strat, except for these sound good and the pickups are quiet. Okay, and again, the bridge is amazing. This is amazing. The locking tuners are amazing. What else is amazing? The pickups and the Tbx Tone Control, which from 0 to 5 acts as a normal tone control. From 5 on up to 10 actually boosts your highs and lows, but not your mids. And I'll show you how that works and how groovy that sounds. So this one is 100% flawless, and I don't want to keep it on any longer than I have to. I bought it as an investment piece and nothing else, other than it is a great guitar and it's just super rare. And if I get any scratches from my little marks here, these little things on your jeans, I will be pissed. That's why the shirt's untucked. No, it ain't. It's because I'm lazy and I'm sloppy. Okay, here it is. Just guitar, reverb, Johnson Millennium JM 150 amp, which is a modeling amp, the first amp ever for a modeling amp and the best amp ever. And this is on a Fender twin reverb modeling. the 2 position, so your bridge and your middle. Here's the 1 position, so just your stock bridge single coil. Throw some delay slap back on her. Okay. There it is on the bridge. Here it is in the middle pickup. I'm never fond of the middle pickups on any guitars, but here it is, the 4 position, the middle and the neck, another quack position. Okay, and if you want to go to the neck position, which is always, oh yeah. If you're going to play like that, let's add just a slight bit of dirt. Groovy sounds. So there are all your single coils going through all the clean stuff. Dirty, I'm going to the 2 position. So again, your bridge and your middle. And we'll just find something to play here. Distortions. Let's go to a different type of distortion on the neck pickup. Wow. Okay. So there you go, the Fender Strat Plus. Again, May 13th, 1988, with the 1984 serial number. Why? Because that's the way they made them. So again, do not trust the Fender serial number thing on their website or anywhere else. Pop the neck off, look on the end of the neck right there, and it will tell you the exact date that they were made. No other way will you find out, because this is all bullshit. It seriously is. So that's the only way to find out what you have. This is before Hipshot got in and put in their trim setter. So I've got my bridge floating now. I usually don't keep them floating. This one I'm going to keep floating. Why? Okay, after all that trim work, let's see what we have. You're out of tune. Why? Because that's what Fenders do. Give it a bend. And give the E a bend. Now you're back in tune. So bend a couple strings. So if you need to keep them in tune, don't use the whammy bar. Why? Everybody's like, if you got it set up right, it will not go out of tune. I can whammy all the way to the floor and it won't go out of tune. Bullshit. If it's a Fender and it's got a regular whammy without a locking nut, you're going out of tune, kids. You can use all the little nut sauce and all the locking keys and blah 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 you want, but you will go out of tune. Period. No matter what anybody says. Even if you have the one magic elusive guitar, which I've talked to 3,000 of you out there that say you do, and not one of you that has said that you'll send me a video of your guitar staying in tune with a regular Strat whammy bar, doing more than that. None of them will stay in tune, no matter how much jizz or juice or gin and juice or jizz and juice you put on anything anywhere else, or even with the stabilizing trim setter that they ended up putting on the Strat Pluses later. They won't stay in tune. Sorry. Wish they would. I would love for them to, but they won't. You want them to stay in tune, block your trim. Okay? But other than that, it's the best, by far, USA Stratocasters period ever made. The only thing I haven't shown you that I promised they would is the Tbx Tone Control. Okay? From 0. I am in the 2 position. Up to 5, which is normally 10 on any other Strat tone knob. Now from 5 to 10, again we are adding a lot of presence, which is going to be up in your 6 to 8K area, if you're familiar with equalizer frequencies. And we're adding some bottom end too, but no mids. We're doing this kind of a scoop thing. Here it comes. Now it's up all the way to 10. Back to 5, which is normal. Back to 10. How is this useful? It's really, really useful if you are like in the 4 position, which you start utilizing your neck pickup and your middle pickup, or just your neck or whatever. But check this out. Here is a regular, same thing. That's with it on 5, so just like a normal tone control on 10. Now the magical TBX really kicks in when you're in this position, on the 4 position. Going to 10 now. Now check it out. Going back to 5. And then we'll go to 10 again. Now 10. Back to 5. 10. Back to 5. Back to 10. So a lot more presence. So it will make sounds, especially like a chorus sound. I'll leave it again on 10. Everything on 10. TBX on 10. Add just a little bit of chorus in here, and you'll see what I mean by it really helps, especially with those 80s chorusy sounds. See, so it helps a lot with those 80s overprocessed sounds. Why? Because these were made in the 80s when everything was supposed to be overprocessed. So it sounds exactly like what it was meant for. So again, it's going back on the ceiling hanger now and not going to be touched probably until 2024 when I sell all my guitars. Okay, that will be my retirement time, and time to, if I live that long, and hit the beaches and live on the money I make on all these. So once again, Scott Grove, a little thing on the new old Fender Strat Plus. Again, May 13th, 1988 is when this was made. Again, remember your Fender serial numbers are not correct on the Fender website or any other website. You ask anybody to buy a guitar from them, make them take the neck off. If they won't, then they are just either guitared and don't want to make any money, or they have something to hide, because the real date that it was made or finished is, especially on every USA guitar, it is written in pencil or stamped in ink on the end of your neck, not on the back side of the neck after you take it off. No, those are just people like John Cruz and all the people who made it, or the expected by number 5 Fruit of the Loom guy, name written on the piece of paper on the back. But right here on the end, right where it meets the guitar, the date will be there no matter what this wrong thing says. Okay, so you guys take care and write me your hate notes again like you always do. But again, I am right about all this. Why? Because I care. Why do I share this? Because honestly, I care. I don't write them just to get hate mail. I write these, or write them, put these things out there. I actually put it out there to try to help you folks understand what the truth is about everything. So to write hate mail back is just really not necessary. And again, I erase them usually. Some of you I just make a fool out of and post them just because it's amazing just how musicians are always the meanest people out there, and somebody tries to help them and they get even meaner. But oh well, so be it. I'm still going to keep on doing these reviews no matter how many people tell me to quit doing them. Okay, because I actually do help some folks out. So anyway, take care, kids. Don't let this color hurt you. It's a beautiful color. Again, it is known as Graffiti Yellow. They offered it for quite a while, so cool finish. Gotta love this. People are going to see you on stage for 5 miles away, even if the stage lights are off. So very groovy. Hasta la pasta.